Hi, and welcome to Career Bytes. I'm Amelia Sullivan, and I'm here with Dr. Arden Bement, who is the director of the National Science Foundation. Thank you for sitting down with us today.
Well, you're welcome, Amelia.
So tell us a little bit about your job at the NSF.
I'm director of NSF, which means that I'm responsible for direction, vision, program development, and accountability.
Oh, wow. That's a big job.
And the NSF, as you probably know, is a research funding agency. It's an independent agency of the federal government.
Mm-hmm.
And we invest about $5.5 billion worth of public funding for basic research.
Okay. And how did you get to where you are today?
I think fundamentally because I love learning. And I also found early that I love to teach. And teaching and learning, as you know, are two sides of the same coin. You can't teach unless you continue to learn.
Mm-hmm.
I went into science and engineering, fundamentally engineering, because engineering changes dramatically over time, so it offers new opportunities to learn. And I think as I go through each learning curve, there's a top to the learning curve.
Yeah.
And as I get to the top, I like to jump onto another learning curve. So I found myself moving into new careers about every 3 to 5 years.
Oh, wow.
And that moved me from academia to industry to government, back to academia. And in making all those moves, you develop a network, a national network. And that helped move me into more responsible positions.
Okay. So what role does the NSF have in preparing students for 21st century workplace and technology?
We support education at every level in math and science,
Okay.
at the elementary, secondary, undergraduate, graduate, postdoc.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, elementary and secondary education is the foundation for the entire column.
Yeah.
So we have a particular interest in providing the right kind of educational materials to provide good pre-service and in-service content knowledge for teachers, to provide the right kind of assessment tools to be able to gauge whether the math and science program is working as effectively as it could. And so those are all responsibilities that we take seriously.
So what is the role of science and technology in schools?
Science and technology is critically important because our global economy right now is driven by education, by research, and by the knowledge infrastructure. And every country in the world knows that, and that's why they're investing so much in education and research and development. And I just came back from China and learned that children there, through their Confucian society, learn very early that if they understand math, physics, and chemistry, they can be a success in any career in life. And that's going to be our competition in the future. And so it's vitally important that every student, regardless of what their career objectives are, have a good basic understanding of math and science.
Okay. And what is your strategy to attract more females and minorities to science and math?
Well, first of all, we are trying to deal with some of the barriers, take away some of the barriers that stigmatize the learning of math and science, especially for women. Secondly, we try to stress the point that many of the problems that society has right now can be dealt with through science and engineering. So it gives women and underrepresented minorities the realization that they can make a difference. They can deal with some of the global problems that are facing society today through science and education careers. Furthermore, we're also trying to bring more role models into the classroom so that students can see that students studying science and engineering are pretty neat people.
Yeah.
So we have a program that will expose children in elementary and secondary schools to graduate students that are studying, trying to obtain a degree in math and science. And they can tell them what their research is all about, get them excited. Mm-hmm. They look like pretty neat people.
Yeah.
And so it's a learning experience not only for the student but also for the graduate student, because probably for the first time they have to communicate what they're doing and what they're learning in language that the students can understand.
Mm-hmm. I've heard the term STEM education mentioned.
Yes.
What does that mean, and how is Nortel LearniT addressing it?
STEM is an acronym that stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And so those are the STEM fields. And those fields are taught now in almost every level in K-12 education, and in the community colleges, and in the research universities. And what we're trying to do is pay attention at the interfaces between elementary and secondary education to capture those students who have a keen interest and also an ability to learn in these fields, and be sure that they have the opportunity to make the transition from high school into community colleges, and from community colleges into four-year colleges or research universities, and to make that transition and those decision points as easy as possible, take away the barriers.
Yeah.
And so that's what we mean by STEM education. Now, I'd like to argue the point, I think it's probably self-evident, that STEM education is important even if a person wants to be a doctor, a lawyer, or even an athlete. When you consider how much technology is used in athletics today,
Yeah.
Golfers are using advanced materials all the time in their golf clubs.
Mm-hmm.
Football players, the protective equipment they use is using the most advanced technology. Even the medical therapy they have to go through is highly advanced. And as you well know, the video technology used to capture a game and make it interesting for a viewer on television is highly advanced. So that's just an example, but you'd find it in the office, you'd find it in the doctor's office, the dentist's office, you'd find it in the grocery store. So technology is all pervasive, and almost every field requires some knowledge of science and engineering.
It's been said that American students are kind of lagging in math and science. Do you believe that to be true?
I think it's very spotty around the country. I've come across students who are as good as any students in the world. I've come across schools and even school districts that will compete against any school in the world. The one thing that I think bodes well for students in this country is the fact that they learn conceptualization, they learn innovation, they're able to use their knowledge in practical ways. And it's not just rote learning where they merely parrot back facts that they've learned. On the other hand, the students who do exceptionally well are the ones that are taught by teachers who are inspiring, who love the subject that they teach, that have deep content knowledge in the subject that they teach, and are continually learning as part of teaching. Now, those are the lucky students. Those are the students that are going to excel. Unfortunately, we don't have as many students as we'd like that have those kind of teachers. And students who come in contact with teachers who are not certified in the field, who do not continue to sharpen their skills, and in some cases don't even like the subject that they're teaching. Those are the unfortunate ones. Those are the areas that we have to pay attention to. We need more outstanding teachers. We need teachers who love the subject, who are constantly trying to gain content knowledge and convey that to their students in a very interesting and inspiring way.
Finally, do you have any advice for today's students?
Yes, pay attention to Confucius. The world has changed, and it's not, you remember the ad, not your father's Oldsmobile?
Yeah.
It's not your father's world anymore.
Yeah.
And many companies in the U.S. find themselves going abroad because they're not finding the skills that they're looking for in the United States. Now, that's a wake-up call. That means that we have to pay a lot more attention to it. Parents have to pay more attention to it. If they want their children to excel and succeed in today's world, they have to recognize that it's different.
Yeah.
That math is all pervasive, that some understanding of technology in a technology-charged world. Everyone is wired now.
Yeah.
It's becoming more important.
Okay. Well, thank you for sitting down with us today. It was really nice talking to you.
Oh, you're welcome, Amelia. Thank you.
I'm Amelia Sullivan, and we'll see you next time on Career Bytes.